Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Comic Book Boys. I'm Gambit, and this is Rocket. And today what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the collections that you have gotten. Maybe it was inherited, or maybe you found in your garage, attic, picked them up at garage sale, or possibly just had this collection for a long time and really didn't know what the value of those are. And the Comic Book Boys are here to show you how to take those comics that are taking up some space and turn that clutter into cash.
That's right. So one of the most important things before you think about submitting a form to us about comics is we need to look at the price. Now, the price in the cover is the #1 indicator. Now, when it comes to finding where the price is, what we're going to have here for you is a couple of examples on multiple different books here that help you identify where the exact location is. Here's example #1. You can see we've circled the price here. Here's example #2. You can see the price is here. And here's example #3. You can see the price is here. So it's very important that we identify what the price of the book is, because this is an easy way for you to get information to us. That way we can get you the highest appraisal possible and make sure we're not wasting time or you're not wasting time. So the 10 cents cover price is from the 1930s to the early 1960s. The 12 to 15 cent cover price is from the 1960s to the early 1970s. And the 20 to 35 cent price is from the 1970s. And 40 cents or higher, that's from the 1980s and above. So we're really not looking for comics with that 40 cents or higher price on the cover, because generally speaking, in the 1980s, people really started hoarding comics, and they started really putting them aside for the purpose of saving them as an investment rather than reading them. So you'll see a lot more comics that were actually saved from this time period. People were really hoarding these things and trying to save them as investments. So that's when we see a huge spike in the quantity of things that have been collected. So very important that we establish what this price is. Now, once again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to pause the video, go back and look at our examples and make sure you can identify the prices. Now, if you do have 40 cent or more recent comics, there is a link down below this video to an article that we have on our top 10 Copper Age comics. There are a few exceptions, and those are the primary ones that you want to be looking out for that we definitely want to take a look at. Also, there's some king-size annuals, like X-Men king-size annual, that are some exceptions that are older comics that have a higher price tag on there than 40 cents. But 99.999% of the time, if it has that 40 cents or higher price tag, it's not something that us at the Comic Book Boys think that it's the best thing for you to send to us. So we suggest doing a garage sale, maybe donation, flea market, something along those lines. As far as what to do with those books with that higher than 40 cents price cover.
Or just enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, or give them to your kids.
Perfect,
yeah, absolutely.
The other thing that's important when it comes to numbers is also the issue number. Now, the issue number can be a little bit confusing on where that is located, and at the Comic Book Boys we're going to give you a couple examples. Here's the first one. As you can see, the issue number is a 173. Not the 30, the 30 is the price tag on it. Here's another example. And in this example you can see that the issue number is all the way on the opposite side of the price of the comic. And then finally, here is our third example. Now on your third example you see that the price is actually missing from it. And this sometimes happens, and if you ever get confused, the best thing to do is to carefully open up the front cover, and on the front cover you'll see two things. One is going to be the title of the comic, which I'll get to in a moment, and the second is going to be the issue number, and sometimes you'll see a year on it. The year we're not too worried about, it's really the issue number, and then the next thing is the title. Now the titles can also be a little confusing. For example, here's our first example. You see that it says Marvel Comics Group on the top, but the comic is actually The Amazing Spider-Man. On our next example, it also says Marvel Comic Books on top, and then underneath that it says the world's greatest comics magazine, but the actual title of this comic is Fantastic Four. Now I'm going to go back to that third example that I used in the last one and use it again, because this is one that we at the Comic Boys see quite often, which is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the name of the actual book. However, it highlights a particular character or group. In this particular example is the Suicide Squad. And if you ever have doubt, again, carefully open up that front cover, look at the title and the issue number, and Rocket here is going to explain what we're going to do with that information.
So yeah, once you have all this information set aside, it's very important that you can create a workspace that's a conducive environment to organization. So being organized, I mean, Gambit and I have spent so many late nights putting together comic piles and figuring it out. And one of the greatest problems that we've ran into is making sure we stay organized. So our strongest suggestion is what you need to do is take those titles and put them in piles of the first issue at the top all the way to the latest issue that you have at the bottom.
Right.
So what you should have is a nice space, whether it be a table like this or even your floor, as long as it's clean, and you want to make piles of titles with the highest issue at the bottom and the lowest issue at the top. That way, you know, you have your 2, your 3, then whatever else down at the bottom. We don't want you to have to take the time to really nitpick and go through and list every single one of them. Don't worry about it. We're just worried about the earliest issue and the latest issue. That way we can kind of help you figure out what you have and really save you as much time as possible. Let us do the labor. We've spent tons of time doing it already, so we're not worried about doing a little bit more. So let us do that for you, and we'll get that done. So once you have your piles all made, then what you want to do is take a sheet of paper, or you can even use our form that's right below this video here. And what you want to do is you want to put the title and your earliest number to your latest number. So for instance, you would say Amazing Spider-Man number 33 to number 266, if you have 33 at the top and 266 at the bottom. Let's say you have The Brave and the Bold. You have The Brave and the Bold number 15 to number 40. And don't worry, even if you don't have all the issues in between, that's okay. We just want a rough sort of range of the comics that you have there. So, and the form down below is very self-explanatory. It's easy to use. You can just start copying, type those in there, write them in there, and once you're done, you just hit submit, and we will call you within 24 to 48 hours to let you know what we can do as far as an appraisal offer goes. And we definitely will take a look at it. And our goal here at Comic Boys is to get you as much money as possible. So I know that, you know, this is stuff that you either inherited or stuff that's very important to you in your life. So we want to make sure that you get the most amount of money for your valuables. So we're really excited to work with you, and go ahead and submit that form. And if for whatever reason you don't feel like submitting an online form, there's also a printable form down below that you can print, write the issue number and the range, and then you can fax that to us or scan and email as well too. Our contact information is down below. So Gambit and I are excited to work for you, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
And thank you so much for letting us take a look at your collection.